It's the approval of the minutes. May I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries.
May I make a comment about
Sure.
the minutes? Not to revive. The first item in the minutes concerns the new program in sustainability and contains a suggestion attributed to me that whether the study of economics should be an essential element. I think the second matter we should study is whether we need 45 copies of this 8-pound pile of paper for all of our committee meetings. There's got to be a way electronically to save lots of resources. So I hope somebody in the 80th Street will look into that. I'm not competent to judge that because I don't understand it. But I don't go to any other meetings where there's so much paper, and it's for every committee of the trustees gets this. So could someone in Alan's office take a look at, or I don't know who the right people would be. But
That's why we created the Center for Sustainability.
Right.
End of comment.
No, point well taken. Items, the policy item calendars, I'll turn over to Executive Vice Chancellor.
Okay, thank you. The first item is Kingsborough Community College and Brooklyn College ASBS and ASBA in Biotechnology Biology. This curriculum is designed to allow students to gain essential knowledge for future advanced study in the biological sciences, while at the same time developing the specialized skills needed for future work in biotechnology. All students will complete a biotechnology independent study, either with a CUNY professor or through an industry internship. Students will have the option of seamless transfer into the third year of either the BS or the BA program in biology offered at Brooklyn College without any loss of credits. After graduating with a baccalaureate degree, students will be well prepared for entry-level employment in industry or for graduate studies in various fields of specialization in biology or in a variety of health professions.
Well done.
Any questions? Professor Beakey?
Just, I guess, two comments. One, it's always good to see scientific programs for non-traditional populations. That's excellent. And a comment on this and the other joint programs that are going to be coming up. I hope that the university will monitor how those joint programs work, because you have two different campuses. It's different from articulation, and it's different from other arrangements. And I think it's still relatively new for CUNY. So,
Yes, I've brought this to the attention of the appropriate goal owner in the Office of Academic Affairs, and we will be attending to this. Thank you for that point.
Any other questions? If not, I'd like to move this item, since we're going to be moving one item from now on. That's somebody's request.
so moved.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Motion carries. Item 1B2, Hunter College,
Yes.
MS in Biomedical Laboratory.
And thank you to the two provosts who are up here. Okay. Yeah, Hunter College MS in Biomedical Laboratory Management. This program is a collaboration between Hunter College and the School of Continuing and Professional Studies at New York University. It is meant to equip medical laboratory technologists with the knowledge and skills necessary to advance to a variety of positions, including laboratory managers, technical development planners, hospital and business administrators, and research coordinators. In addition to advanced research technologies, the curriculum encompasses the increasingly complex areas of medical reimbursement, management of federal grants, and regulatory oversight. Students are expected to be working laboratory professionals, most of whom would be entitled to tuition reimbursement from their employers. The range of laboratories at NYU and the NYU Langone Medical Center provides ample internship and practicum opportunities to students. The degree will be granted by Hunter following the transfer of 18 credits from NYU.
Any questions? Not, I'd like to move this item.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays, abstention, motion carries. Item 1B3, Hostels Community College and John Jay.
Yes, this is ASBS in Accounting for Forensics and Economics, the Forensic Financial Analysis track. Okay. Proposals 3 and 4 on the agenda stem from John Jay's Educational Partnership Initiative meant to enable access to John Jay baccalaureate programs by students at CUNY's community colleges following the planned discontinuation of John Jay's own associate degree programs. Through this 2+2 partnership, after earning their associate degree, students transfer seamlessly to John Jay College to earn their bachelor's. The proposed curriculum combines accounting principles and finance, ethics and criminology, and law and investigation techniques. It will prepare students for employment with accounting firms and governmental entities engaged in investigating and preventing illegal financial activity.
Again, any questions?
I'd like to just echo Professor Beakey's comments about these two programs. And number one, I think it's extremely heartening to the trustees to see this kind of cooperation between our community colleges and our four-year colleges. So these are great programs, but they're also great examples. I'll move them.
Okay. Second. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Okay. Item number B4, on B4.
Okay, this is BMCC and John Jay College of Criminal Justice, an AA and a BA in Criminal Justice. The proposed joint program in criminal justice offered jointly by BMCC and John Jay is similar to programs already registered with other community colleges. Students graduating from the criminal justice program will be prepared for employment in law enforcement, corrections, court services, and security.
Move it.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much, BMCC.
Okay.
Is the second one first?
This was number 4, item 4 on the agenda.
Okay, we'll come back up for the next one.
Yes. Item number 1B5, John Jay, BA in Global History.
BA in Global History. This innovative program is organized on a conceptual framework that emphasizes the connections between and among civilizations. Global history is presented in the context of mastering such key critical skills as analytical reading, the assimilation of data, the production of evidence-based arguments, and oral and written communication. The curriculum serves as an excellent preparation for graduate studies in a number of social studies and public policy fields, as well as for pursuing a law degree.
Any questions? Professor Beakey?
So far away from the paper. I'm actually interested in hearing about the difference between global history and world history. The proposal talks about that a little, but
Okay, we have someone here from John Jay, I believe.
It's one of those interesting distinctions.
Could you identify yourself?
I'm sorry, Eli Faber, Chair of the Department of History at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. It's terminology that's peculiar to the field itself. World history connotes the study of civilizations and nations in isolation. So in a world history course, one might, for example, study France on Monday and then skip to Belgium on Wednesday. But things are disconnected. In global history, the emphasis is upon the connections between and among civilizations. It's an entirely different approach to the understanding of how histories have evolved. Rather than in isolation, historians of global history have come to recognize that there have been, from the beginning of time, since prehistoric time as well as more recent times, immense connections between and among all kinds of civilizations. So that, for example, a new member of our faculty studies and emphasizes the connections between China and Islamic civilizations and societies in the 13th, 14th, and 15th centuries. She doesn't study or teach about China in isolation or Islam in isolation, but about the interconnectedness, the influences upon all of them. It's really what we would say in today's parlance is globalization writ large, but we see it as happening long before its recognition in our contemporary world. So that's the essential difference between the two. It's something that has to be explained because we ourselves, as we started this journey toward the development of this major, found ourselves using them interchangeably. but they're not to be used interchangeably. They're quite distinct in terms of what people in the field understand them to be. I hope that clarifies it for
It
you.
does. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that good clarification. Any other questions?
Move it.
Okay. Any second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Carries. Item is 1B6, MA in International Crime and Justice.
Right, this is John Jay College again, MA in International Crime and Justice. The proposed program builds on the content and structure of the popular undergraduate major in International Criminal Justice, offering advanced study in comparative law and justice systems, as well as a number of specialized courses addressing specific topics such as organized crime and terrorism. Students will be highly competitive as applicants for doctoral study as well as for employment or promotion in a number of professions, including managerial, policy, and research professions related to researching, controlling, and preventing transnational crime.
Is that different than global? Don't ask.
They all occur at the same time.
No, I was going to comment. There's a Chinese armada that started in 1403, and if you ever want to follow what Eli just said, is I think the book is called 1421. 28,000 men, 300 ships, several continents. So, okay. Can I have a motion to approve item number 6?
Move it.
Okay.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item number 1B7, Brooklyn College, BA in Children's Studies.
This program addresses the educational goals and career objectives of many undergraduate students interested in working with children and youth and seeking alternative pathways to careers in certified fields. The curriculum brings together knowledge about children and youth from infancy through the age of legal majority, as seen from a wide variety of disciplinary perspectives: the social and natural sciences, arts and humanities, and education. Students will be prepared to enter graduate studies in education, social work, and public policy. With the exception of one newly created course, all courses required for the program are already offered at the college and show steady enrollment levels.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I see you seated there. Any questions?
Will the program give students a chance to look at the way the law treats children in various settings?
Identify yourself.
I'm Gertrude Lenzer. I'm the director of the Children's Studies Program and Center. Thank you for your question. In effect, the law represents one of our major focus in our program, so much so that we started in 2004 with a symposium on children and the law in New York with deliberate focus on the state of New York. Since then, we have introduced, in effect, we have been responsible because of the symposium that legislation was drafted, and it's passed already 3 times in the Assembly, to establish the independent office of the Child Advocate in the state of New York. Number 2, we have recently been involved with, as you may know, the United States is a state party to an international treaty on the optional protocol to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, on the sale of children, child prostitution, and child demography. And since the first U.S. report, when it was discussed at the UN Committee in Geneva last year, since then the recommendations, I should say, the observations were that there is a special problem in the United States because of our federal structure and the states. And so they remarked upon there's a major lacuna between the states and the federal government. This led our program and our center to have a forum, in effect, on this optional protocol, on the implementation and monitoring of that protocol in New York State. This took place on February 6th. Since then, we have a working group which consists of the Assemblyman William Scarborough, who is the chair for the Committee on Children and Families, the immediate past president of the New York State Bar Association, and myself, and we're in the process of, in effect, of writing developing a state report that will be added to the federal report, and that report is due in January 2010. We have gotten to the point already that, in effect, people in the U.S. State Department are working with us. They actually attended the forum, And I'm also working with the very person, official, who is going to write the next US report. So in other words, we're trying to make legislative history in this respect. We also have a course on the human rights of children. We've been in the forefront. And we have another course, Children and the Law. So
I know in the past you've sometimes had some difficulty getting the faculty resources that you need to mount a broad-scale teaching,
I
comprehensive
agree with you.
teaching
Yes, thank you.
program. Is that, I mean, the idea that we would have a full degree program in this area, does that suggest that Brooklyn College is prepared to support this to the extent that, you know, quite a few students are going to wind up wanting to do this
We
program?
already have 400 declared students and 300 minors.
We have already done our line allocation for fall 2010. And in the line allocation for fall 2010, we are giving a joint line to children's studies and a brand-new partner, economics. We've realized that the ability to merge those two programs in particular from a marketing perspective also is very, very important. So the college is committed to giving children's studies the resources to move forward in this direction.
Well, I want to just be sure that that's so, because there's no question that this program has a chance for, already is a true national leader
Absolutely.
in thinking about this emerging field, and it's one of the most important and interesting interdisciplinary fields for obvious reasons, but it hasn't fit very well into the traditional academic departmental structure. It's fit very badly. So this kind of thing is a chance for Brooklyn College and CUNY to do something very, very important.
I think it'll be my job to convince the new president the importance of the program to Brooklyn, to the borough, and to CUNY.
You won't be alone.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm very supportive. Could I move this?
Yes, absolutely. Second. Seconded? Second. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Item number 1B8, College of Technology.
Okay, this is a Bachelor of Technology in Emerging Media Technologies. Emerging media concerns the process of specifying message protocols, device interoperability, and the transmission and display of information. This unique program integrates media design theory and practice, computational media models and principles, and engineering methodology and implementation. Students will be prepared for careers in the entertainment and creative media industry.
Any questions? Not. May I have a motion to move this item?
Moved.
Second?
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Item number 1B9, LaGuardia Community College.
Yes, this is an Associate in Arts in Spanish Translation. This major will provide students with a strong foundation in Spanish as well as in Latin American and Peninsular culture and literature. Students will develop the academic competencies necessary to pursue a professional career utilizing Spanish language skills after the completion of a degree at a senior college. An articulation agreement has been established with the translation and interpretation track of Hunter's BA in Spanish program.
Again, any questions? Not. May I have a motion to move this item?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Next
Okay.
item is also LaGuardia Community College.
Yes, another AA, this one in philosophy. This program provides graduates with the first 2 years of the undergraduate liberal arts curriculum, enabling them to transfer to senior colleges to complete their baccalaureate degree. Students will acquire the core thinking abilities and communication skills that will serve as foundation for further study in a number of academic and professional fields. An articulation agreement has been established with Brooklyn College's BA in Philosophy program.
Any questions?
I have one question.
Okay, moving right along.
Question.
No question.
Okay, go ahead.
In the major courses, they're only required to take 6 classes.
Yes.
If they were to take additional courses in the major courses, how would that transfer over when they come to Brooklyn College?
The good thing about AA degrees like philosophy is that many of the courses are easily transferable into general elective courses, so, depending what they would take.
Okay.
Any other questions? motion?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Nays, abstentions. Item number 1B11, LaGuardia Community College.
Okay, another AA in communications. This program focuses on developing skills and competencies in oral and written communication, preparing students for transfer to a 4-year program. After earning their baccalaureate degree, students may pursue a graduate or professional degree in fields such as public relations, marketing, or speech pathology. An articulation agreement has been established with Brooklyn College's BA in Speech program.
Any questions? Not? I have a motion.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Nays, abstentions, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 1B12, York College.
Okay, this is a restructuring at York College. 12A is the establishment of 3 schools. Following extensive consultations with faculty, students, and the administration leadership, York College is proposing to organize its departments into 3 new schools: the School of Business and Information Systems, the School of Health and Behavioral Sciences, and the School of Arts and Sciences. This reorganization reflects the academic and institutional planning needs of the college. It does not alter the internal organization of the departments. The fundamentals of faculty governance and administrative management remain unchanged.
Professor Beakey?
What will change? Will the administrative structure change? And what's the rationale for this particular change?
Okay, President Keyes?
Thank you very much for the question, Professor Beakey. Since I've been at the college, we have tried to do a little bit of, I would say, structural housekeeping, internal, if you will, so that departments that may have been floating out, not reporting into a department, we've sort of woven in. And this is sort of a last piece of that. We think that administratively it will work because we can establish 3 deans so that you have that piece and you have the department sort of relating in that way. Academically, again, the faculty can work together within those schools to leverage strengths, to attract some grants, et cetera. And on another level, from the point of view of externally communicating to the external community and attracting possibly some fundraising, some donors, we would be able to work with the schools. And so we thought that this would be a great opportunity now at this point in the college to establish those 3 schools. And we will have 3 administrative deans, academic administrative deans, reporting into the provost and working with the chairs and the faculty within those schools.
Thank you. Should I go on with 12B?
Yeah, 12B
And
as
then
well.
we'll do those together? Okay. This is the establishment of a Department of Business and Economics at York. This action is intended to strengthen the degree programs in economics, business administration, aviation management, and marketing, and to better serve students in those programs. 7 faculty members are being transferred from the Department of Accounting and Business to the new Department of Business and Economics. As a parallel action in the Chancellor's University report, the Department of Accounting and Business is being renamed as the Department of Accounting and Finance.
Okay. Any questions? If not, I have a motion to move these 2 items.
So
Move
moved.
it. Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Nays, abstentions, motion carries. Thank you, President. Item number 1B13.
Okay, this is the establishment of a uniform university verification policy for federal Title IV regulations. Over 70% of full-time CUNY students receive financial aid. In accordance with federal regulations, students may only qualify for federal financial aid if the university is able to document that a student has begun attending a given course and has been present at least once in the first 5 weeks of class. Failing proper verification, a student is denied financial aid and the university may be subject to a substantial fine. Due to the fact that current procedures to verify student enrollment lack consistency between campuses, uniform guidelines and procedures need to be put in place to protect both the students and the university. in consultation with all constituencies, the Chancellor will promulgate uniform guidelines and procedures to ensure compliance with federal Title IV regulations.
So this is a compliance item. Any questions?
I assume that the faculty will play an active role in that consultation.
Yes. Yes, that is the case.
Okay. All right. May I have a motion to move this item?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nays, abstentions? Okay. Item number 1B14, BMCC.
Okay. This is the establishment of a Department of Media Arts and Technology. BMCC is proposing a new Department of Media Arts and Technology in order to better serve students in the multimedia and video arts technology programs. 2 faculty members are being transferred to the new department from the Department of Music and Art, 3 faculty members from the Department of Speech, Communications, and Theater Arts, and 1 faculty member from the Department of Computer Information Systems.
No questions? May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Nays, abstentions? Okay, that concludes the action items. Now we'll move on to the informational items.
Okay. The first information item is an update on fall 2009 enrollment management. And I would just like to give a summary to the committee about what we're doing at this point. Our concerns about very large enrollment increases for fall 2009 continue. As of this point, total freshman applications are up compared to the same point last year, about 15%, and transfer applications are up about 26%. Also, as of this point, compared to the same point last year, we have admitted about 96% of the total freshmen that we had admitted, of the total freshmen that we accepted last year. Traditionally at CUNY, by this point, most senior colleges would have closed admissions, and that is indeed the case this year, but the community colleges would continue to admit through the summer. At this point, at this particular moment in time, all community colleges are still admitting students, but all of them will not continue admitting throughout the whole summer. In addition to these application increases, we are expecting increased retention rates, show rates, which is the rate at which students actually come after they've been admitted, and also increased readmit rates. The readmits are the students who have taken a break from their studies and are coming back. In response to this overall situation, the senior colleges, by and large, increased admission standards and, as I said, are pretty much done with admissions for the fall. But this means that more students are rejected from this, have been rejected from the senior colleges, in addition to the, and are therefore interested in applying to the community colleges, which were already getting more applications. So we have been devoting particular attention to the colleges that have associate degree programs to ensure that CUNY will continue to provide access to students while also maintaining educational quality. We're taking a number of steps to help prospective students to find a place at CUNY this fall and to help ensure quality. In another week, we will be stopping the centralized and electronic admissions process for the university as a whole, as we do each year. But what will be different, one thing that will be different this year is that in about a week, we will put into effect a new electronic direct admissions process for the individual colleges that are still accepting students. In the past, direct admissions was not done electronically. The electronic process, the electronic direct admissions process, will better enable us to monitor how many students are admitted, where, and when. We will also be providing extensive information to the colleges that are no longer accepting students for the fall as to which colleges are still accepting students. And students will be referred to those colleges that are still accepting students. We're also ensuring that all students accepted to our colleges for this fall receive all appropriate services for new students, such as skills testing, advising, and orientation. Finally, if a student does apply to a community college too late for fall admission And there is no other college that the student is either qualified to attend or is willing to attend that is still accepting students for the fall. And therefore, the student will be, in that case, the student can be deferred to January admission, but what we will do is make sure that there are special services available to such students during the fall to maximize the applicant's readiness to enter in the spring and to maintain the student's engagement with that college. In a few months, in September, we expect to enroll at CUNY the largest number of students in credit-bearing courses since 1973, when tuition was free. We expect this September to have well over 250,000 students in credit-bearing courses, and we will be ready. So that's, and then we have, I guess, one other information.
Complaint procedure.
A little over 2.5 years ago, the Board of Trustees adopted a policy, or really a set of procedures regarding student complaints concerning faculty in academic settings. In the policy document, a commitment was made that after 2 years of experience under these procedures, there would be a review. And my office was charged with conducting that review. We have spoken to the provosts and deans on the campuses. We have had at least an initial round of consultation with the Faculty Senate. And I thought the best way to present this was to write a memo to this committee and to the Committee on Student Affairs, laying out what I had learned as a result of this review, collecting some of the recommendations, many of them very thoughtful recommendations that we have received to date, and giving my initial take on which of these recommendations I thought we might want to move on, and which ones, at least speaking my own personal opinion, I thought we would not want to move on. But the process is ongoing, and really the purpose today is simply to alert you to the fact that this memo is in your materials, urge you to read it and think about it over the summer, and then in the fall, I think I would like to continue conversations with provosts and presidents and faculty and students about this process and about these recommendations, and then bring a set of amendments to the procedure to you sometime next fall. The good news is that the procedures seem to be working reasonably well. Concerns about the use of these procedures to infringe upon academic freedom have thankfully proved not to be borne out. And although there were a few complaints that really went to the content of courses, those were quickly disposed of on the grounds that they involved the academic freedom of the faculty. Most of the other complaints involved conduct that students perceived as just disrespectful in class, or faculty coming late or being absent, and many of these were resolved informally. A few led to formal investigations, and most were found to be factually unwarranted. A few were found to be warranted, and appropriate action was taken. Only one resulted in a disciplinary proceeding with respect to the faculty member in question. 2 others were reported on in connection with a reappointment process. But I think the general feeling around the colleges was that the procedures had worked reasonably well. Perhaps their presence had also encouraged more informal resolutions of these kinds of complaints, and that's certainly a good thing. And I will bring to the committee next academic year, some of the specific proposals that I think should be adopted to improve these procedures even more.
Any questions?
What, if I may, Mr. Chair, the ultimate purpose is to come up with a formal policy that the university would adopt throughout all the colleges. What happens? What's your end result here?
We have such a policy, but that policy called for a 2-year review. This is the 2-year review.
Okay.
And so the ultimate end would be appropriate amendments to make that policy better.
Thank you. Now I'm smart.
Well, when we adopted the policy 2 years ago, there was concern on the part of some faculty that this procedure might be misused by students who didn't like a faculty member's ideology or academic slant on material. And so we said we didn't think that that was going to be a problem given the nature of the procedures. But we promised a review after two years or so, and a report back to this committee and to the trustees and that obviously the University Senate, and that faculty and students both could give us their views about how well it was working or not. And I think this is a very informative memo, and it would appear to me that it is working, but I think at your point about allowing chairpersons to recuse themselves if they don't feel that they're right for this kind of fact-finding is a good one. And I think there'll be other small changes that would improve it that we can adopt when you give us a report on formal changes and the language to achieve it. But this is just the kind of report that we promised that we would undertake. So I think it's very good.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I just want to express my appreciation for the collaboration and the time spent by various provosts and deans and faculty members in this review process. I read every word of Ned Benton's 18 criticisms and proposals, I think it was, of these procedures that he presented to the University Faculty Senate plenary. I couldn't be there that night. And a lot of his comments informed this memo. We also got a lot of data from the campuses, and they were quite responsive to our requests for data. So I think this process has worked as it was intended to work, and hopefully will make the necessary improvements next year.
Rick, just one question. Is there any explanation to why 12 of the cases came from one college?
Yes, I was interested in the same thing, and I spoke to the provost at that college, and the explanation was that the prior dean who was in charge of this process felt incorrectly that every complaint had to be investigated, and that once it got to the department chair, it couldn't be resolved informally. It had to be investigated. Needless to say, this created a backlog of complaints and some resentment on the department chairs that they had so many of these to do. That, I think, was just a misunderstanding of what the policy provided. That dean is no longer at that college. The provost, and not for this reason, but that provost understands what the policy was intended and has been working with the new dean and the department chair so that everybody understands that merely because a complaint comes into the dean and then gets kicked to the department chair, that doesn't require a formal investigation in every case. So that was the story. I have no reason to think that that college had more or fewer of these problems than some other college. I think it was just a bureaucratic glitch.
And this incident of a group of students complaining about one professor, I guess it was some controversial subject, he said. Is that the only time a group came together?
I think that's right. And what was interesting about that case is that the members of the group, none of them had been in the class. And so they were reporting it kind of secondhand, and a professor at the college contacted our office and said, don't you think we ought to have a standing requirement before you can bring a complaint? And it seemed like a reasonable idea, and so we're going to consider that among the changes for next year.
The person who taped the remarks didn't complain?
Well,
there was a tape recorder involved.
Yes, that's correct.
That's correct.
Didn't come forward and say, I complain, but turned it over to some friends who did.
this is a very important matter. Students have rights, and other universities, including our friends uptown, have gotten themselves into a hopeless mess because there were not clear procedures and a transparent process for students who have maybe legitimate, maybe not legitimate complaints to get an airing. So this is really, I mean, this thing is, and actually CUNY's gotten a great deal of national attention as one of the first places that's put this kind of thing, and undoubtedly we can improve it and do it better. I don't know about your standing argument, Rick. I mean, the argument on the other side is you don't want students avoiding courses because they feel like if they take it, the professor is going to, you know, do something illegitimate based on their student's point of view. So we can argue about standing in the fall.
Right. I confess I'm unprepared for that argument today, Professor.
Hopefully by then, more school would have posted the policies and procedure.
So it's my understanding then that you'll come back with a follow-up to us in the fall.
Right. We'll have some further discussions, and then I'll make a recommendation for amendments to the policy. We'll vet it through the central office, through the committee, through the faculty senate, et cetera. And so it will be, at best, the late fall, if not the winter, before we get this done.
I can't seem to find the document. I'm sure it's here somewhere.
It's behind, it's attached to the revised agenda.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it appears to be shorter than it is because it's two-sided copying.
Any other matters? If not, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Please adjourn. Thank you. Have a great summer, everyone. See each other next week. Yes.
To the revised agenda.
Yes, like right behind it.
I have to be there. They're having a town hall.
But he won't give any